Welcome to Film2Field Case Studies, where we sit down with players, coaches, and football professionals to break down the lessons, habits, and study processes that drive success on and off the field. Today's conversation is with Coach Malik Lawrence, offensive coordinator at North Point High School in Waldorf, Maryland.
My first time, I remember when I fell in love with the game. My uncle had come to Pittsburgh. The Steelers were playing the Colts. It was maybe 2004, 2005. I remember being in elementary school, but it was a cold game. Tommy Maddox was playing quarterback. I don't remember how the game go. I know we won, but I just remember high-fiving everybody in the stands. I remember the energy that was in the stadium. I remember being a young kid and my uncle letting me take a sip of his beer. And that's when I fell in love with the game of football. So what was your moment where you fell in love with the game, and what experiences followed after that foundation?
I would definitely say entering my sixth grade year. So I always played quarterback and pound ball, and I didn't transition to receiver until high school, obviously, because I was still 5'5" at the time. So I would say going into my sixth grade year, I met this coach. His name was Coach Omar, and just the things that he taught me, like I played quarterback. First thing he asked me, show me a 3-step drop. I'm like,
What is that?
what you mean drop 3 steps? Like what are we talking about? You know? So he like, show me your 5-step drop. So I'm like, what you want me to drop 5 steps? I don't. So he started showing me 3-step, 5-step, like half rollout, full rollout. Then he started teaching me defense, cover 2, cover 4, cover 3, man, just all in entering sixth grade. So we had joined this organization. It was called Charles County Spartans. And then I wouldn't say I played for losing teams, but it was always Final Four. Or if we made it to the championship, we got blown out, right? One of those, always those type of teams. So then entering sixth grade, I met this coach. He started teaching me all this stuff. We started repping all this stuff. Like I remember literally every day for 20 minutes, he'll put a trash can back right pylon. And we just 100 footballs in the trash can. Throwing them over, throwing them under. It's like drills I even do with my kids to this day. So I would think being on that team, entering my sixth grade year, meeting those people, I definitely would say that's when I fell in love with the game of football. Now, I know that is a little late, but for me, I was always like a basketball guy. I've been playing basketball before. So, and I was winning at basketball. I mean, at 20 is like a bad game. Like, one of my shoes was untied, so football kind of, it clicked a little late. So I would definitely say going into my sixth grade year, meeting some of the people that I met, and then definitely meeting Coach Omar, being under Coach Omar, really learning the game of football. I think that's what allowed me to really fall in love with the game of football and then try to take myself to another level.
Did you watch, because I remember after that game where I fell in love, I used to watch like all reruns and like the NFL films and all that. Did you start watching the game more and being a part of it?
So I really didn't watch that. Like I didn't even watch TV, honestly, when I was younger that I could remember, because I mean, football season, I would leave football practice. I wish you lived in Maryland so you would know how crazy of a drive this is. But like I lived down in Waldorf, and I would literally have to go all the way to College Park after a football practice for basketball practice. So it's like an hour 30.
Ooh.
After football practice, go out there for basketball. So then, I get home, sleep, come home the next day. I'm playing video games till my mom texts me, hey, come outside, it's time for practice. So I really wasn't much of a TV watcher or a sports watcher, to say the least. I would say that started around high school. But from high school till today, all I do is watch sports. Like my girlfriend, she gets mad at me at times. Like, let's watch this movie, let's watch that movie, let's watch this show. I'm like, but it's a game on. It's just summer league. I don't care. Like it's a game. Or what do we watch? It's OT 7-on-7. It's the best kids in high school. Why are we watching this? It's a Saturday after. Like that's all I do. Now all I do is just consume sports. Basketball, football, soccer, girls basketball, girls softball, track and field. If it's a sport on, we watching it. So
I'm the same way. I started falling in love with baseball because I want my son to play. So man, I've been locked on the Pirates, and I've just been watching other games in other places. And there's times where if there ain't no football on, I'll go to YouTube and watch. I'll watch a Skycast, no sound, all 22 film. And my wife is like, "Is this on right now? Is this live?" And I'm like, "No, this happened 2-3 years ago. This is from 2021." And I'm
It's
just
actually
watching it.
it's an account on YouTube. I think it's James Light, I think. And
Mm-hmm.
he posts all 22. It's no sound, no nothing. It's just the whole game's like 47 minutes. I'll be watching a ton of that. Or like Friday pregame when all the coaches locked in, we just sitting in the thing, and it's that awkward silence. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna just put a game on the TV. It's a little weird. It's too weird right now. And then that'll get the juices flowing. So
What was your playing experience? You said you went from quarterback to wide receiver. So what was your playing experience from football?
Played quarterback all the way up to high school. And it's funny, the same dude, Coach Omar, that I was talking about, he ended up getting the offensive coordinator job at my high school in 9th grade. And then we had this other kid, his name was Brandon. He could throw a little bit. And he was like, hey, if you want to go to college, I think you should switch positions, 5'7" quarterback. You're not Kyler Murray, He didn't say that. He didn't say that, but me being me now, I wasn't a
You
Kyler
understand it.
Murray. Yeah, so boom, switched to receiver. I ended up playing receiver throughout high school, ended up playing throughout college. So my freshman year was really good. They wanted to move me up to varsity, but my mom was like, you're 5'5", 140 with bricks in your pocket. Like I'm not letting you go do that. And I would say now kids are small in high school. Like I'm coaching high school football and I'm looking like, everybody my size. Like why couldn't I play against this? Back in the day, everybody, like our starting safety was 6'2". Slot nickel was 5'11", corners was 6'1". And I'm not saying they was world beaters, but just the size alone, right? And the work ethic, they were just bigger, faster, stronger. So my mom was definitely like, nah, you ain't doing that. So ended up playing sophomore year, was on varsity, was a captain. All Met, honorable mention, if you know about All Met. It's basically just like the DMV, like private and public. They just rank you throughout the whole DMV. And they take 11 offensive players, 11 defensive players, and it's like you're the best in this area. So it was honorable mention my sophomore, junior year. And then my senior year, I ended up winning All Met Defensive Player of the Year, which is weird because I played receiver. And sparked a few interests, ended up going to Fairmont State, which is down in
Okay.
West Virginia in the
Yeah,
MEAC.
yeah.
So was playing in the All-Star game, trying to get some more offers before I had settled for Fairmont State and ended up messing up my knee, which required me to get ACL surgery. So I ended up getting my ACL surgery, which caused me to miss the fall of my freshman year. So come back spring of my freshman year. Okay, bet. I've been lifting for, 6 months, training, getting my knee back strong. Let's get to it. College football time, right? What every kid dreams of. COVID. Yep. So we had Monday, Tuesday was in helmets.
Yeah.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we were in shells. So we go home for spring break. When we come back, we in full pads, we tackling. We never came back.
Because that was around like March 14th, 2020. Because I remember it being shut down, and I was like, we gonna take 2-3 days off and be back in school and back in practice. Nope.
Literally. I remember I came back on a Sunday. Sunday, dang, my school just shut down. Monday, dang, my school. I'm out at the park playing basketball with my friends on a Wednesday. I'm like, man, we live out West Virginia. They ain't closing down no school, right? We go on a 6-game win streak. I come back to my phone. Yeah, school closed. Schedule a date to come clean out your room. I'll bring you and one other family member. I'm like, dang. So yeah, that was literally my football experience. And then we were off. And then D2 didn't really have the money to test and all of that. So we didn't have the little 6-week season. We didn't have that. It was just practice for us. But on our campus, they kept having several cases, like 2 basketball players, then a soccer player, then 5 football players. So what Fairmont decided to do, they just shut the whole all sports done.
Yep.
So from there, I'm like, okay, I just missed the whole first year of my freshman year. I've been doing nothing but working out just to play football. And now we not even playing football. So I'm like, man, and always, if you remember back to the beginning, basketball was really my first love. So in my head at that time, I'm like, man, I'm
just
done
gonna
with
hoop.
football.
I'm
Let
just gonna
me
hoop.
just learn the game. So I just started watching a whole bunch of football. Just learned. That's when I like fell in love with Sean McVay for real, and started really watching him, dissecting his his core beliefs, things of that nature, how he run his offense. And then from there, I was like, okay, maybe I could start coaching. And that's kind of how my journey of football went from pound ball to high school to college, and here we are
Into
today.
coaching. I mean, so many times when you walk off the field the last time, you literally do not know that it's your last time. My
Literally.
situation, well, yours was COVID. My situation was just family. So I went to the University of Mount Union and I played safety. I left the end of that freshman, it was like 2012, that 2012 season. We went deep into the playoffs. But when I left school, I had to leave school because my family was going through a transition. My grandmother had gotten sick. I had to go home to help. And I'm just like, I did what you did. I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna study. And I had gotten offers from like small schools around Pennsylvania, like Waynesburg and Lock Haven, like Allegheny and Geneva. And they were like, okay, we like your film or whatever. You can come on and play. No, lo and behold, I never went back. I never put my helmet back on. I never put cleats back on. The first school, my grades were terrible. When I got to college, I did the opposite of what you're supposed to do, man. I was playing around. I was outside. I didn't take grades serious. Um, I thought my play was going to be enough, but it wasn't. The money, they didn't give me no more money. So I had come home and I didn't know that was my last time. And then I transferred to Slippery Rock University,
Okay.
and like they had their guys, you know what I mean? So like they had their recruiting class already set. So whenever I tried to come in the spring, they kind of gave me the cold shoulder. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm done with this. And but I always wanted to stay away around football. So I was able to, get a coaching job. My uncle had become the head coach, and he was like, hey, whenever you get a chance, come down. I need a DB and receiver coach. And I was like, all right, bet. And then I came.
Oh, you waiting for?
Yeah, and actually I started special teams. So my first ever coordinating position was special teams. And whenever I started with special teams, it was more of I didn't know anything about specials. I didn't know kicking, long snapping. I just dove right in and I wanted to be doing something great at it. So my next question for you is, what is some of those early lessons that you took from being a coordinator that has now changed where you look back and say, man, I can't believe I was doing it this way, or I've gotten so much better in this aspect of my coaching career?
First thing I would definitely say is because I always felt like as a coordinator, there isn't enough time to practice, right? So I was really big on if the starters didn't get it, then we're not leaving until they got it. And what that really means is the second and third string guys didn't get that many reps in practice,
Okay.
right? So I would say that's like the biggest thing that I've learned now, even try to implement now, is just getting everybody reps because you never know when somebody get hurt. We've had kids miss games because they were sick, like didn't even come to school, didn't even get on the bus. I had a kid text me one night, 10:45 p.m. Dang, coach, I just woke up. How did we lose? Right? Like, I lied to you not, right? And this was in my first year of
Okay.
coaching. Like my first year I took over, I want to say week 6. We were 8-1. Like we won states, we finished 8-1. That one game we lost is the game I'm talking about. Like kid, it was our starting slot and all that. Woke up, text me. So that's definitely one of the biggest things, is getting everybody reps.
That's wow.
And
How do
then
you miss a game like that?
he was like, that's how sick he was. He was up. I guess he had to fall asleep at like 5 or 6 right before kickoff.
Okay.
But like, didn't come to school, didn't ride the bus. I had his jersey in my book bag. I'm thinking he gonna drive down, pull up to the game. Never showed up. I forgot his jersey was in my bag till I got home that night.
That's
But and
crazy.
then So that was a year we won where that example was really important. And then another year we lost, 2023. Our starting center had actually got ejected from the semifinal game, which didn't allow him to play in the state game.
Yeah.
Then we had to move the tackle, the guard, the left tackle, move the right tackle, the center, well, that's not nothing we ever practiced all year because of what I had in place, which was if the starters don't get it, then ain't nobody else really gonna get it because these are the guys we need. So that's definitely something that I would say stuck out with me. And then secondly, I would just go with you can't have the same relationship with everyone. Right. So my quarterback, he was friends with my stepbrother since they were 5. So I ended up coaching him. And, I could joke with him a little more. I could be a little more harsh. I could, yeah, be quiet, stop talking. Right. That kind of, because we had that kind of relationship. He would do that to me too whenever I get too carried away in my jokes or whatever. But then I would go do that to another kid. And they'd be like, oh, well, okay. Right. And then kind of like I'm giving them the cold shoulder kind of thing. So that was definitely two of the biggest things that I've had to learn from the start of coaching. Did you want something X's and O's? I know that was kind of like a personal.
No, it was still, I like the personal because when you grow and mature in coaching, you start learning different ways to be around kids, and you start noticing not only yourself changing, but how they see you changes a little bit as well. Because like when I started coaching out, like I said, I was 22. So I was very close in age to my seniors and juniors. So it was more of like a big brother. Towards like year 4 or 5, I started seeing like my demeanor and how they approach me changed, especially when I would say like the cycle of freshmen went through.
That's literally where I'm at. I'm going on to year 5, so it's so funny that you just said that. Yep. That's literally where I'm at right now.
So you're not officially unk yet. You still like are in that big brother phase, so they're still close. And like I was telling another coach that I interviewed, man, cherish that moment because I know a lot of old heads sometimes be like, well, you can't be too buddy with them, and you can't be a friend. Set your boundaries and your standards, but that time together when I had those first couple of years, I'm so close with that group of boys, and we were able to win a championship too. We were able to win our district championship, the WIPU, and then we went on and we lost in states to Southern Columbia, which is like a powerhouse. And but that group of boys, I was so close with that I wouldn't trade that experience for the world. And there were some times where like, yeah, we took it a little bit too far, or it got a little bit like, all right, y'all need to chill. Like we got to lock in. But most of the amount of respect level, the achievements of all of them, and then what we were able to accomplish together, like that was some of the best years of coaching I've ever had. And I used to drive them home. They used to call my car the therapy vehicle because they used to vent. Oh my God, the stories that I used to get from those boys about their relationships, their family, themselves personally. One of them started driving my car because he was about to take his permit test. That was some of the best time of my life coaching, man. And those are some of the strongest relationships because I was so close to them in age. And now I'm getting into unk status where all my jokes and my sayings, they're starting to be like, man, you're an old head for sure.
I feel it. I feel it. I used to walk in the locker room and ha, key. Now I walk in the locker room, they like, oh, hey, Coach Lee, kid, chill. I'm like, dang, when it get like that, you know?
So Coach Malik, you had a lot of early success. Like you said, your first year, y'all went 8-1 and won the championship. Within my first 4 years, I was able to win the championship, and one of my first receivers is actually playing for the Patriots right now. His name is Jaquay Jackson. So I saw a lot of early success too. But there was my first year coordinating and calling the offense. I hit a wall, and I was like, the offense sputtered. I didn't know what I was getting into because I had this ego. I was cocky, and the game humbled me real quick, and I went into a dark place from negativity on the outside, and I even questioned my own ability as well. Have you ever had a point in your career where you were like, maybe I'm not doing the right thing, or how can I be better? Or have you ever had to get yourself out of a dark place calling plays? Because it can be real lonely when your stuff ain't working on Friday night.
Yeah, I would definitely say it was the year. So like to the success thing, I've been blessed. I mean, I've seen 3 state championships in 4 years. Only won 2 of those. And so to answer your question, the one we lost, that like I didn't sleep that night. Like I was literally up till 7 in the morning and then I went to sleep. Uh but it like we scored 7 points. Defense held them to 14 points. And in my mind, I've always told our D coordinator, joking around, whatever. If you hold the team to 20 and we
You
don't win,
good?
that's on me, right? And I definitely felt like in that state championship, we only scored. I want to say we scored the first touchdown. Like we were up 7-0.
Yeah.
Ended up losing 14-7. So I would definitely say that's one of them games to where I was like, I really just like let all of us down kind of thing. And it made me reflect and ended up winning the season after. So, I guess those dark and lonely times did come to end up being a good thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was definitely that 2023 state championship loss.
What things did you change, and like how did you pivot, or how did you study harder, or what did you change to come back stronger the next season?
Biggest thing was just getting our playmakers the ball, right? So like our best kid, I would say, was a 5'6". The same kid I told you that was sick, didn't travel down the year before. That same kid, right? I think I just didn't get him the ball enough.
Okay.
And being too complicated in getting our best players the ball, right? So like if you're a best player and you're a receiver, I don't have to throw you a double move to get you the ball. I don't have to put you on an island one-on-one and rely on you to get a fade ball. I could get you in motion, create a numbers matchup for you, and throw you a quick screen with 2 blockers out in front. Now you move. I could put you in a jet sweep. I could come up with a new formation this week, right? So those are the things that I did from the 2023 to the 2024 season to
Okay.
where I believe that helped me, it helped our kids be better. And one thing I will say is like that 2022 season, those sophomores are the same kids from 2023 to 2024. So having those years with them, I understood them more. They understood me more. I understood like, yes, you're a good football player, but you're better within this space. You're better
Okay.
within that space. So like we had a package to where that 5'6" kid was a running back and he weighed 150 with his pads on. Kind of thing. So I would definitely say that's just something that I learned by
I had a
by failing actually.
I had a receiver like that, man. He's up at Slippery Rock right now, and he was the same way. I was the year ended, and I was like, I went to him, and I was like, I apologize. I did not get you the ball enough. And then the next season, he got way more touches. Now, granted, he was a young guy in a group of seniors that were really talented, but he was definitely in the mix. So his senior year, getting him the ball, and like you said, it was quick screens, it was jet sweeps, it was quick game passes where he could take a slant and go 40. Um, it was like key screens where he's the smoke. It was stuff like that, getting him the ball. And that was actually one of my questions that you answered is like, how do you scheme up and get your players the football? Because so many coaches say, hey, just get your guys the ball. Just get your guys the ball. But nobody ever explains it.
Right.
And the way you just explained it, I think is going to help out a lot of coaches too. And definitely something that I look to incorporate. My next question, coach, is so we talked a little bit about who you were, your playing experience, and then we got into X's and O's. I want to dive deep into that.
Okay.
Where did your offensive system come from? Like, where were the foundations? You talk about Sean McVay, um, and his influence, but where do you base your offense in without giving away too many secrets?
All right,
Where do
right.
you base your
So
offense in?
it's actually crazy because I'm not gonna say I called the same offense that I ran when I was in high school. But if anything, I've just added a little bit of more things, right? So when I was in high school, we were strictly 10 and 20 personnel. When
Okay.
I came back, we began 21 personnel, 11 personnel, still in 20. Now we get into 12 personnel with two true tight ends. So like I know in the NFL, they call it 12 personnel with a tight end and then offset
Wait.
1 by 1. for us, we just call that 21. When I say
Okay.
12, I mean tackle got a tight end next to him, the other tackle got a tight end next to him. So I would say, honestly, just looking at college college and NFL teams that run gap schemes. So we're a gap scheme football team. We pull a lot, power, counter, buck. We flirted with some trap, but not really too good at it. And then in terms of pass game, a lot of quick game and then play action. Like we're
Yeah.
not really a drop back passing team.
Okay.
Like we're not just gonna come out and empty. We're not gonna come out in 10 personnel. We're not gonna run dagger and flood all the way down the field. But we will dink and dunk and mix in some runs and then mix in a boot and hit a boot for 60 yards on you, right? So that's definitely our play style. I would definitely say if I had to look up to anybody, like I already shared, it would be Deshaun McVay's, Kyle Shanahan, that whole tree of football.
I mean, you're younger than me, but you have so much wisdom and knowledge. And it's like, it's almost as if the lessons that took me 8 years to learn, you're learning them in 4. Because my offense I started out like that. I went big and I was like, I want to do all these concepts here, there. But whenever I got into the nick of it and I really started coaching, I was like, man, we're going to focus on quick game and have a couple play actions, and that's how we gonna roll. Because everything else is either run or I want the ball to be out of my quarterback's hands quick anyway. So we running stuff like slants and stick and snag, just so he can make a quick read, get the ball out quick, and then it doesn't have to be downfield passing as well. So I watched some of your videos, and I coach, you are a phenomenal teacher. The way you went through stick and how you can manipulate the rules from the F, the Z, the X. I was like, man, if I would have had this 3 years ago, because I was trying to think like, how can I incorporate tags or how can I move one person without calling it a whole new play? And you made it simple that any kid, any coach could get it. Where did that teaching style come from, and where did that progression come from when you teach your concepts?
So I will say I am not the creator of that. I am not. So on YouTube, a dude I've seen every single video he's posting on his YouTube. His name is Y Zone Warriors. So I would definitely, to anybody watching, whoever you talk to, whoever you share this with, Y Zone Warriors, from running the ball to bunch to play action to he gives everything. So I don't want to say that I stole it, but I definitely got it out there to people who didn't have that knowledge, right? There's people who are in the higher ups who have access to all 22 film. There's people who got access to clinic film. There's people who that's just one thing I happen to stumble upon YouTube. And I'm not like a keep a secret kind of guy. If you want to know something, I tell you. I don't care. Like clothing brand stuff. If you need a manufacturer, I'll tell you. Like I don't care if we got the same manufacturer. You're not gonna call it how I'm gonna call it. We not gonna run it the same. Our kids ain't the same. So that's definitely where I found it from on YouTube. I got 3 YouTube tabs open right here next to this Zoom call. Right. So it's just me. And like you, I'm a teacher, right? So I got the summer off. I got a planning period. All that time, I'm YouTube, how to teach this, how to teach that, how to et cetera, et cetera. So that's definitely where I got it from. And a lot of people liked it. A lot of people DM me. So that's definitely where I got it from. And I'm opening to teach, help whoever wants to communicate about football.
That's dope. That's dope, man. And don't feel bad about stealing. There's a great quote. I can't remember who said it, but it's like a master artist steals or is a thief, and amateur copies. So it's like a master steals and an amateur copies. Because when you steal something, you literally try to make it your own. When you copy something, you don't know the ins and outs of it. You don't know how somebody else is calling it, how they're doing it in the game, or what paints they use if it was in an artist sense as well. But I use that for sure, because there's a lot of stuff from football that I did not teach myself. I got it from somewhere, whether it be CoachTube, YouTube, going to clinics, talking to coaches as yourself. There were so many places where I stole stuff where I was like, okay, I'm going to build this into my offensive identity and our playbook as well. So no, that's dope. Wise Zone Warriors. I got something to look up in my free time as well.
And
So,
I say,
coach,
with it
go ahead.
being in 2026, realistically, you're not gonna be the creator of anything. I'm sorry to break anyone's bubble. It's out there somewhere. Probably you just ain't never heard of it. So that's all I would have to say to that.
Or it's in a different realm. The way I grade film, I actually got the template from a hockey guy. One of the
Okay.
guys I knew coached hockey, and he did the same thing. He was like, I grade film, and he's a scout now, but he was like, I grade film, and I go through, and then this is the Excel sheet I use, and this is how I formulated it. I was like, oh, I was like, can I take that? And he was like,
Yeah.
sure. So I took it, flipped it for football, and he was a huge help. Like, he was a huge help, and he didn't even know that he was doing all that for me. But yeah, sharing information in this day and age is almost like, why are you trying to hide?
Yeah.
Why are you trying to hide? Like, everybody knows where we got YouTube and everything else from it. So, all right, coach, let's get into the weeds even more. One of
Okay.
the first coaches that I ever coached with, his name is Coach Mick. And at halftime, he was our offensive coordinator. At halftime, Coach Mick, before we stepped foot in the locker room, he already had his adjustments. So one game, maybe halfway through our first season, I asked him, like, how are you doing the adjustments so quick? And he was like, every game, I have a first half question sheet that I'm looking for. And by the third or fourth drive, I've answered 90% of those questions. So when we get into our halftime adjustments, I've literally already went through this process, and now I'm just talking to you guys. What are some of those things that you look for to adjust at halftime, and how do you do that process?
Okay. Well, the most frustrating thing. Okay, so in our county, we are like that powerhouse, right?
Okay.
As other people call. So the most frustrating thing is when we come to a game, right? Let's say we play an odd front team. Now they're in the even front, right? This week 9. I don't watch your 8 weeks of film, your 2 scrimmages, and I watched the film from last year when we played you.
And y'all never showed this.
Where did you get this even front from? Right? Or vice versa. Or let's say we play an odd front team. They have 4 eyes all year long. It's week 9. We come out. They got 2 walk down backers in the B gap. They 4 eyes bumped out to 5s, and now they nose is one shade to the sharp. So it's just like, oh my God. And then our kids, I'm not gonna say our kids are robots, but if you tell them the first thing to your left, they're gonna, if that first thing move a step over, nope,
They
you told me I
chasing.
got him, I got him, right? So it's just, I would say that's the biggest halftime adjustment for us is realizing, okay, look, it's not like practice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's not gonna be right here based on this or that or that or this. So then we kind of just, I changed my play calling realistically. So instead of running so much gap scheme when our offense is confused, I'm more so switching to a zone scheme, or
Okay.
we'll read a guy, right? So I'll take that stress off of my kids and I make it more so my issue. And then so our O-line coach is in the back watching the defense. Like, so he could see the defense is back. I could
Okay.
see the offense is back. And then we have another guy up in the box. So we're talking while the defense is on the film. I mean, on the field, sorry. And then as we're walking up, that's what we talk about our halftime adjustments. Okay, we can't call this play no more because we were calling it because he was in a 3. But now that he's in a 4-eye, we can't call it. We don't like that play no more, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that's where our halftime adjustments come from, is just watching what they switch from on film and then calling those plays that attack that defense specifically.
That's, man. There have been so many times where a halftime adjustment is literally just telling a kid, don't chase. Like, I had a guard, man. There was a team that they just slanted. All they did was slant weak. And they did that all game, the whole first half, but they were blowing up our counter. I'm like, why is my counter getting blown up and they're staying in this stagnant front? Lo and behold, my backside guard was chasing, or my front side guard was chasing the slant. So the dude would start off in a 1, and he would slant all the way to a 2. And so my guard would get washed down, and he's literally backwards, and the linebacker would roll over the top, and he would start on our counter. Once at halftime, all I did was look at the film and say, "Yo, don't chase him. Just go to the backer now." And we were able to hit that second half running. So there's so many times where it's just like a simple thing for your kids to see, and it comes with experience too. Because he was a younger guard, but the next season he was able to talk through that and be like, and tell other players as well. So, Coach, I appreciate all that stuff. I'm gonna go even deeper into the weeds of film. What is your weekly process to break down a defense?
So first, it's crazy because I was like a receiver, 1,200, 1,600, 1,800 yards, barely blocked, right? Our coach always found a way to get me the ball. I was never the blocker. I love running the football. I don't know what it is about when I love running the football. First and foremost, we start with D-line techniques. Where are you at? 1, 3s, 5s, 0s, 4-eyes. You got a 4-eye and a wide 9. So I would definitely say at first we start with the box, A gap, B gap. I believe every team isn't technically sound. And to anybody that's watching that doesn't know what that means, where every gap is literally accounted for by a man. Teams in our conference, they don't kind of play like that. They kind of like 2 gap with their linemen and then fast flow with their linebackers. So I look for those kind of tendencies. What kind of team are you? Are you technically sound, or are you 2 gapping and letting your athletes go make plays? And then I go with the RPO game, right? So we've never had like no gunslinging quarterback.
Okay.
So definitely find ways to dunk. What RPO game do we have this week? Okay, who's responsible for the run fit, right? We have a team to where their safeties are force players. So we hit them with boot crazy. Like, I swear we played them, we ran boot like 10 times. It worked 8 out of the 10 times. The 2 times it didn't is because we threw a bad ball.
Okay.
Right? So definitely just looking for players' assignments, right? Because yes, this player could be a 5-star. This player could be a 4-star. He could be a 4-4 track kid, but he only can do what his coach tell him to do, right? So the biggest thing I look for is really, for me, it's like coach against coach. Where are you putting this kid when we do this, and how am I going to manipulate that based on your kid's responsibility that you have them do? So that's what I look for, like when I'm watching film. Who's responsible for what, and then how can I make them get to their space, but then counter off of that?
Yeah, that's one of the big teams around here. Their defense, he bumps his linebackers, and then they rotate a weak safety down. They run a 4-2-5, but like it's almost consistent. Now they play different coverages. They'll play like cut, they'll play quarters, they'll play cover 6, they'll man the backside as well and play like combo field coverages. But when those linebackers bump, that inside backer is in a bind the whole time. So the first year, I kind of knew it, but I didn't know it. But that second year, all we did was triple option him. My quarterback had a 60-yard gain. When we hit the bubble off of the read, it was like consistently getting 25 yards. So finding, like you said, finding those players that are in conflict, whether it be an apex, whether it be a quarter safety that has to fit hard, whether it be a defensive end who's taught the wrong arm. Like, how can you find those small details in between the game to actually give your boys an advantage? So that's great stuff, Coach. I only got a couple more.
I have my quarterback do that too. Like, I have my quarterback. I say, who is the worst corner? Who's the worst safety? Which backer is worse in coverage? And then give me your 3 favorite run plays, because I run my quarterback. You can't play quarterback for me if you can't run. So, and I think that helps the kids. I mean, it helps me too sometimes. Like, oh, he really believed that we can do this. Okay, let me throw it on a practice script, see what it looks like, kind of thing as well. So
I saw, because I watched your game against
Patuxent.
Y'all got some wild names down there. Wild names. But I watched our game against Patuxent, and you were in empty. I mean, you had an attached wing, but y'all was running outside zone. I was running insert behind him and and you were letting your quarterback roll. And I was like, I really appreciate his offense, especially the quick game. Because if you had leverage, you guys hit a couple quick out routes. You
Still
guys hit a
not
couple flats.
so annoying. I don't know. I don't know what these kids see because I stand back. Like I'm the scout team quarterback. Like that's my job. So I'm literally like, bro, do you see this leverage? Right? Throw the ball. But hey, would you believe me if I told you that Patuxent team won a state championship this year?
Wow. No, I
Yeah.
didn't. I didn't go further than watching y'all game.
Yep, they won a state championship. One
Man.
1A football, the lowest classification.
And see, that's
Yeah.
the stuff that gets you. But
We're
hey,
the second highest. So this is you know.
it was. I mean, it was a bad. The first half, I was like, oh, they're going back and forth. But
Yeah.
man, y'all had them boys. But I
Just
mean, there's always
on
that's
them a
why we
little
play the
bit.
game. Because on paper stuff can look a certain way, but we got to
They
play the
had the
game to see
freshman
it come
quarterback. Actually, he's coming back, so I'm excited to see. He definitely got better as the season went along. So
So that's the game to watch. That's the game to
yeah,
watch. All right.
it'll be at our house too this year. So they come to us.
North Point versus the Pack. Now I got to lock in. I got something else to lock in and watch this year. Coach, I got a couple more questions for you. You've been amazing so far because during my beginning of my career, I didn't have a lot of offensive coaches to go with. A lot of black coaches are D coordinators or they're on the defensive side of the
I'm
ball.
yeah.
And I was searching, and don't get me wrong, I had great offensive coordinators, I had great mentors, but I was looking for somebody who I could relate to in Pittsburgh, and it was just hard to find. It was even hard to find looking across the state. Like a lot of black men that teach football, they coach on the defensive side. So finding another offensive mind to bounce ideas off of was something that I really, really wanted and I yearned for. So to find you and to find your content online and then to connect like this has been a blessing. You don't even know. You're younger than me, like I said, but I definitely look up to how you caught a game, your early success, and how you teach as well. My next question is, what do you think the game is going to be in the next like 3 to 5 years? What trends do you see rolling in that have caught your eye or that you've been like wanting to implement in your scheme?
I believe a lot of teams will start to use tight ends because I still to this day, I mean, a lot of teams in our conference, a lot of teams we play in the playoffs, they're 10 personnel and 20 personnel, not even with a fullback, right? Like they'll go split back or they'll go running back to the side, running back
Hmm.
behind. Um, and the biggest thing I see teams do to them is load the box. Well, if a team loads the box, then I believe you need to match that with more bodies, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Throwing
yeah.
them the bigger personnels. So I would say down on the high school level, it would definitely be to start seeing a lot of bigger personnels, whether it be your fifth string lineman or your third string lineman or maybe your middle linebacker got to put his pride aside and go play tight end. So you got an extra gap to run through. I seen
Right.
teams trying to run ISO in 10 personnel and there's 7 defenders in a box and your quarterback can't run. So to me, it's like I don't really know how that's gonna work.
Got to add gaps. If they're going to add bodies, you got to add gaps for them to defend for sure.
Literally.
Um, what are some of the what was the hardest? Because I know you said you play receiver and quarterback. What was the hardest position for you to like get a grasp of as an offensive coordinator? Because I played a receiver too, but whenever I went to the offensive line, I was like, "Yo, this is a new world." So, what was one of those positions where it took you a little bit of a learning curve?
I'm still in the learning curve, I will say, but it is with the O line
Yeah.
because I love running the football, so I need my lineman to block. And I try not to like be disrespectful or offend our linemen because I don't know techniques. I'm not 270, 5'11. My back don't hurt, my knees don't hurt, right? So for me, I'm getting in my stance. I'm 45 step, helmet in the ribs. But for them, it's just like impossible to do, right? So I'm kind of like, I'm like, yo, how can you, like, is this hard? Like, I don't understand. Like when my receivers drop the ball, I understand. I
Yeah.
saw you grab the DB's arm, throw it off. Now your glove is sweaty and you go, I've experienced that before.
Right.
Or you looking up in the sun, it's hard to see the. I've experienced that before. Quarterback, you scared the. I've experienced, but as a lineman, I don't know. I don't know. So that's definitely the hardest position for me to understand. And it's like I don't want to teach. Like with a receiver, I feel like there's so many different things you can do to beat a press, get off the line, beat a spur defender. But like with lineman, I don't want to tell you step with your right foot and now you getting crossface,
Yeah.
right? Because off of receiver release, I could be right foot up, I could be left foot up, I could split release, I could spray, I could dive, I could. As lineman, I don't think they had that flexibility, and for me to not have as much knowledge as I need with lineman techniques, I would definitely say that's the hardest position for me to like connect with the most.
Yeah, that's humble of you too, because a lot of coaches say, "Man, I ain't got no weaknesses. I can teach it. They just got to learn it." But for you to be like, "Man, no, that stuff down there is hard, and I don't know which way y'all supposed to step, where you supposed to put your hand and your helmet and all that. I can give you a general idea, but the technique,
Right.
I'm a rely on my offensive coordinator or my offensive line coach to get y'all where y'all need to be. Just know I need you to be where you
Yeah.
need to be." So, no, my offensive line coaches were amazing all my years, man. I had one that played for the Miami Dolphins where, I mean, me and him would sit there for an hour and literally just go over steps. What is the step going to be called? What is the location of it? Uh, what angle are we taking? If he does this, what it is so much intricate detail down there in the trenches that, I mean, like you said, you can step you can step wide and the dude will go around you and now it's a tackle for loss. Or you could step too narrow and
It'd be
and now you're off balance and he takes you over. So that stuff down in the trenches is something that I'm starting to learn. A lot of coaches are struggling, not struggling, but that's the learning curve is the offensive
yeah,
line. So if you get a group
that's
on,
what my summer is gonna consist of. When the season comes, I'm gonna be ready to go.
that's what's
I
up.
could be a line coach,
That's what's up.
5'6" line coach.
That's what's up, man. That's where I actually like it now since I spent so much time with it. I see the art and the beauty of it, and I taught quarterback. So if y'all got to be able to protect this kid. So
Yeah,
man, I know it's thankless work for my offensive lineman, but man, I'm appreciative. I appreciate them and my coaches because y'all boys. I was a receiver. All this hitting down here that y'all are doing is not for nobody.
and
um,
I played quarterback. So like when I was in high school, you would literally see it on the tape. After all my touchdowns, I would go dap up my five lineman. Like it
that's
was
what's
just
up.
I think it was just because I was a quarterback, and that's something that Coach Omar had like instilled into my mind. Always thank those linemen, no matter what.
That's what's up. So, Coach, I'm gonna go rapid fire for the last two questions. I got a rapid fire round, and then I got a closing question. But um, in film to field, I grade from five categories: play IQ, technique, physicality, athleticism, finish, and effort.
Mm.
I'm not going to go through each of the categories. I just want to go through each of the positions, and you tell me what are some of the key traits that you look for to determine who's a starter and who's a developmental guy.
Me
All
right
right.
here. Oh, we got IQ,
Play IQ,
physicality,
technique,
technique. I know we got effort, and there's one more. What was that? One more.
athleticism.
Athleticism. Okay.
So let's go quarterbacks. And you don't have to go through all five categories. Let's just go
All right.
quarterbacks. What's some of the key traits you look for in those areas?
IQ for one, of course. You got to know what you're looking at. Okay. Before it even happens, right? Big on IQ. And then I would say I'm big on technique. For quarterbacks, IQ and technique. If you could be looking this way, shoulder this way, but if that ball ain't get there, or if that ball is behind, I bet you your toe is not out in front. Right.
Okay.
So I believe that goes to technique. And then again, to tie it in with IQ. Okay, we got one backer over three receivers, most likely gonna be cover four, right? We got that corner sitting off. Okay, if we got the corner sitting short, they could be rolling to three. Now let's look up at our safety, see our safeties alignment. Is our field safety inside of the hash. Okay, maybe this boundary safety's outside the hash, rolling over top of the down corner. So I would definitely say for quarterback, IQ and technique are top two.
That's dope. My quarterbacks, whenever I taught them the strengths and weaknesses of coverages and how their pre-snap process, they came back to me like, Coach, I'm playing Madden better because I can read coverages and stuff now. I'm playing NCAA better.
It all transfers, I swear.
Yeah. And I was like, but you see, and then they was like, they'll get frustrated when dudes do stuff that's not football on the game. And I'm like,
Okay.
yeah. So, yeah, you see, boys ain't rolling out and throwing a 40-yard flood route because they're, yeah. So, that's one of the things that I take away for sure with my quarterbacks. IQ and technique are huge. And like you said, man, there was this one play where my quarterback, it was a key screen. And he had the leverage, he read it and everything, and I was so happy for him. But the boy threw it and it went right in the dirt. And I'm like, man, look at your feet.
Yeah,
look at your feet. Because he got excited. So it's like
are you trying to grip and rip kind of?
Yeah, it's like when you miss a layup because you're just so excited that you got the lane. He saw it, and whenever he ripped it, his shoulder didn't close all the way, and the thing went right in the dirt. Third down, we had to punt it. But anyway, let's go to running backs. Running backs, what do you look for in your running backs through any of those 5 categories?
Running back, definitely physicality and then athleticism. Simply physicality. Hey, 3rd and 2, I'm ISO. Put your shoulder down, put your head down, right? That's what you lift all season for. And then I would say athleticism are for the times where the linemen aren't their best, right? You're not going to be your best all the time. They're not going to be their best all the time. But can you make one man miss, right? Can you fault for that one mistake? Okay, now if it's 1-on-2, put your shoulder down, try to split them. But if we got 1-on-1, I need you to be an athlete. I need you to show a college why they should be giving you $28,000 to $40,000 a year. That's a lot of money. I don't think.
Yeah.
Everybody looking at their favorite rapper, 28,000 foot. Yeah, that ain't a lot for them. That's a lot for you and your family, though.
That could change your life.
Hey, so definitely physicality and athleticism for my running backs.
That's it. Go get. Hey, we on the 4-yard line. I need 4. I'm calling the same play 3 times in a row. I'm calling power right, power left, or ISO. You got to go get it. Let's go. I'm gonna go offensive line last. Let's go receivers.
Okay, receivers, IQ and effort for sure. Okay, receivers, I always tell them all the time, you cannot run the route how it's on huddle. There's going to be somebody getting their hands on you. There are going to be people rotating. If we're running dagger, you got to dig. Your slot may have just gotten pressed off the line, so now his seam post is a little late. You can't just run 14 yards and break in. You might got a double move at the top, give him time to clear out the window. Things of that nature. Quarterback scramble. If he's scrambling your way, you got to dig to the middle. I don't want you to keep on running over there. You need to come back, right? So I believe that's IQ, understanding the game of football. If you got a 5-yard hitch and the safety is off at 11, okay, you can run a 3-yard, 4-yard hitch, turn, get some quick yap, right? IQ and then effort. One thing I hate, and I learned this in college from my receiver coach, Coach Wright. If a pass is too high or too low, I need you to go all out and show me you could not get it, right? So pass it too high, receivers do this. Yeah. I can't get that. Well, me standing 20 yards back there, it looked like you could have got that. So I need you to put your hands up as high, as long as they extend, and just show me that ball is out of your reach. Now, that takes effort, right? Because why do I have to do that? Again, why do you have to do a lot of things? Why do you have to put your hand behind the line? That's just effort, right? So you tie IQ and effort, I think those could take a receiver a long way. You don't got to be the fastest. You don't got to be the strongest. You don't got to be the tallest. So definitely IQ and effort.
And that effort goes into blocking too, because you just got to sometimes, I mean, you could show sometimes the safety, like you said, you play a team where the safety's trigger hard. Sometimes if that corner's off and you got your run rules and that corner drops off and that safety triggers, sometimes that angle is hard, right? But don't stop in the middle of a play and look at me and say, Coach, I couldn't get him. How I know? Because it looks like you could have taken a better angle to get him. So, no, I'm really happy that you said that. And then I love that coaching point of Show me that you couldn't get the ball. Don't just tell me like, oh, I couldn't reach it. Did you even like? I need that. Did you lay out on the ground? Did you go dive for it? Did you try to get it on the sideline? Did you jump your highest? Like, I need to be able to see, because then I can go back and say, oh no, he really tried. Like it was really. And then now I'm yelling at the quarterback instead of you,
And
or
then it's
I'm
me.
yelling at the
He say, yeah, eliminate all of that.
And then let's go to the hardest position, the best position, the offensive line. What do we look for in any of those categories as key traits?
I give you three. I go physicality, technique, and then effort.
Yeah,
Physicality, first and foremost, I mean, hey, you moving 300-pound men, like, or 300-pound boys, whatever you want to call them. That's gonna take some physical strength, all right. And I don't mean physical strength as in moving a silver bar up and off your chest, because that don't always translate to moving human bodies, you know. So that, and then technique, right? You can be as strong as you want, but one wrong step, the wrong head placement, right? You're done. Okay. And then effort. Yeah, you could have taken the wrong step. You could have allowed him to cross your face, swim move over the top. Did you stop and watch? Or did you just try to drive him upfield? Yeah, it's not a down block, but can you at least drive him upfield? Can you at least make up for a misstep that you may have had without giving up on the play?
yeah,
So definitely those three.
man. I lost. There was one time in practice where I lost my mind. My guard he's just stepped the wrong way and dude swam him, but he just stopped and turned around and looked like, I'm like, bro, I'm mad at you now because you didn't even, now your quarterback or the running play is done because you didn't change or try to at least give me a hold.
Literally.
Like, at least give me
Yeah,
a
literally.
hold.
Like this is
Um,
dangerous. It could get dangerous if you don't do your job.
Man, but coach, you've been a depth of information. Like I said, you're younger than me, but I've been looking up to these younger coaches because of how you guys have come into the game and then really uphold the teaching of the game. Like, I don't know if it's the information age of sharing ideas and stuff, but you guys are phenomenal teachers. One of the things that I hated when I was playing is a coach that said something to me over and over again. And I told him, I don't understand what you want me to do. But then they continue to say the same thing over again. Like, it
Yeah.
wasn't until I got to college where I really had my first teacher as a coach. And
Okay.
he taught me, because we ran, like I said, we ran a 4.25 in college, and I was the weak side safety. So in two read, you got to read that, like palms coverage, you got to read the release of number two. We did
Yeah.
the same thing in high school. When I
Right.
look
Yeah.
back at it, we ran the same coverage. We were running cover two. However, the way he taught me how to read my keys and look for what I needed to look for and drop the way I wanted to and position my body with leverage, it skyrocketed my development in my game. And that's one of the things that I wanted to take and do for all my kids. And I tell them, you may see this again, but when you leave me, I want you to be able to be in rooms and people not talk over you. Like, you
Right.
know what's going on. You know how to play this game. Don't let the mental barrier be what blocks the blessing of your athleticism. So now
Man.
continue to teach, coach, continue to be great. The last question on the podcast and the closing tradition is, what is a book that has influenced you in your life, either on or off the field?
All right. Now my age is gonna show here. Don't have an answer for you. I do not have an answer for you. But wait, I do have one book. Five
I got
seconds.
you.
But I have dabbled.
You win in the locker room first.
Yep.
The seven C's to build a winning team in business, sports, and life. John Gordon, Mike Smith. Got you.
Yes, sir.
You win in the locker room first.
I can't remember who recommended this book for me. I cannot remember.
That's like a culture building type of book.
Yeah. Literally, yep.
That's like a culture building. That reminds me of when Eric Reed got that clip of him talking about when he got to I want to say it was whatever team he played for after the Ravens. He was like, bro, how are we going to win when y'all got trash and stuff on the floor and nobody picked it up and boys been walking in here all day, or your locker looks a mess? How are we going to win like that? So it was talking about the details and everything. So Hey, I got something to add to my list. As you can see, like behind me, me and my wife are avid readers. Like that's what I do.
So this all my
If
girlfriend stuff. Don't be this ain't really. I'm faking right now. I'm sorry. This my
I'm
girlfriend stuff.
look, I'm faking
Her
too.
work office.
That's my wife's stuff. My bookshelf up in the corner. It's it's 3 shelves. So like my stuff is and this is a lot of it is hers, but I do audiobooks and stuff too. But I've learned my best lessons from stories because I learned that usually if somebody went through something or you're going through something yourself, somebody has gone through it, put it in a book, and like you said, like in 2026, there ain't a lot of stuff that you're inventing that's new. I
Literally.
mean, you may put your own little personal spin on it, but a lot of stuff has already been done. It's already been gone through. Somebody had already went through the challenge and learned from it, and they put it in a book. And so that's why I read stories. And in the summertime, when we get off of school, that's when I really put in work. And it's not always football or like leadership. Sometimes I read fantasy and horror, and I love mystery series as well. My favorite author is Walter Mosley, so
Okay.
that's where that question comes from, and it's always like a good little tidbit of information to give to people. But Coach Malik, man, I appreciate your time today. It's been a pleasure.
Appreciate you having me. If you, we do this once a week for all I care. I mean, I love talking football. So whenever you want, just let me know. If you're looking for some more coaches, especially coaches of color, let me know. I could reach out, plug you in, anything you need, especially from around, the Maryland area. So
For sure.
definitely stay in touch.
For sure. Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching this episode of Film2Field Case Studies. If you found value in today's conversation, a summary can be found in the show notes. Subscribe and share it with another athlete or coach, and we'll see you in the next case.